Hey everybody, if it's Friday afternoon, There's No Crying in Crochet, and I am Debbie, Madam Stitch, and this is,
Biz from Busy Crochet. Hi, everybody.
and we're here to share another podcast with you, a podcast episode, my bad. So welcome to There's No Crying in Crochet. So we're going to do business first, and that is, if you want to know all the things that we put up on our YouTube channels, make sure that you subscribe and like our YouTube channels, Busy Crochet and Madam Stitch Crochet, because if you do, every time we load something, you get a notification. And then, if you are watching us on Facebook, please make sure that you give StreamYard permission to display your name in the comments so that we can see your name and know who we're talking to, because that's a really cool thing.
Yes.
All right.
I'd like to say hi to you personally.
We really do. So it's pretty cool. Okay. Biz, what is up with you this week? We didn't get a chance to catch up, did we?
Yeah, no, because I came flying in right at the last
We
second.
just blazed in.
Yeah. It was a really eventful week for me this week because, our episode this week is about, basically critical care for self-care for crocheters. And so that I'm going to talk about that more in depth, but I had a hand injury this week that I was dealing with. So, I'm going to actually refer to that when we're talking about our hand exercises later. But that really kind of occupied my entire week. And then Stephanie had her first ultrasound today, and we got to see baby. Baby's about size of a strawberry right now, and that little baby was just moving and grooving. They had a hard time getting measurements because she was just a bumping. So we think it's a girl. Who knows? We're not 100% sure. But the heartbeat was 163, and that's about what Stephanie was when she was in there too. So hopefully it's a girl. I want a girl.
So you could shower that little girl with all the crochet stuff.
Well, I just think she's going to be a copycat of her mom, and her mom was so much fun. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
How was your week?
Oh gosh, it's been just crazy, stupid busy. Just all the crochet stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I've decided that I am doing too much, but that's not going to make me stop, right?
It never does, right?
No, I'm just going to stay awake at night wondering how I'm going to get it all done. Um, and my grandson and I did a little bit more on the shelving unit behind me. So we are
It's
trucking
looking
along.
gorgeous.
Yeah, you know what? It is a
Ooh.
monstrous activity. I knew this going in, but it is a monstrous activity to go through every last yard of yarn that you own, right? And if you haven't done it for a while, like I haven't, we just go through so much yarn because we're constantly making stuff and then putting the patterns up for sale and making stuff for our family, all the things. And so um, I've just got so much stuff. So my goal is that all of it will be on those shelves behind me back there. I also have some storage in my closet. And then beyond that, it has to leave. It has to not just leave the room, it has to leave the house. It's
Gotta
gone.
go.
It's
Oh my
out.
gosh.
So I still have probably a couple more weeks to go to get that done. But my 11-year-old grandson is just so excited to be helping me with it. He takes way more time to organize that stuff than I do.
That is so awesome.
But it's really pretty,
You
and
know
I'm
what though?
so glad.
That center one, the one that actually sits in the center, I am digging those, the second and third. Those color
Yep.
packs are sexy.
Well, I'll tell you. Do you mean the one to the right of my mannequin?
Yeah, it's with this where it's like exactly the center, where it's
Yes.
in the
So,
corner,
um,
right behind your
so
mannequin, I guess.
yeah, so those are cottons. Those are all my
Oh,
cottons. Aren't
those
they
are
gorgeous?
really
And then the
pretty.
one is it's actually a 4-unit shelving unit. So
Okay.
the second one from the right has all of mystery our mystery project yarn in it, and it's
Yes,
gorgeous.
it
So
is. It's
anyway,
so pretty. I can't wait to see that whole thing. But we got some
oh
hellos
my
we gotta
goodness.
do.
Okay.
Hello
Good.
to Carolina from Sweden and Dawn from Republic, Washington, and Woolly Chicken Crafts, which is Neve, and she's in Canada. Hi to everybody. Thank you for saying hello today.
Nice, nice. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad to see you all here. Well, it's time for us to get started with our discussion. So
Yes,
let me just show you what we're
absolutely.
talking about officially.
Officially.
Officially, today is episode 32. We're continuing our discussion of crochet self-care, which is
Mhm,
super important. Last
mhm.
week, we talked about body alignment and good posture and all of those
Mhm.
things. So we got you all
Which I'm
set up.
still horrible at.
And yeah, and and this week we're going to get you all set up to crochet without pain as best we can. Now,
Mhm,
I want to show you this because we need to have a disclaimer. Biz and I are not medical professionals by any way, shape, or form. Yes, I'm trained in body alignment and for singers and that sort of thing, but we are not legally allowed to give medical advice, and we
no.
don't want to. This is just advice that we give from experience, from
Mhm,
research, from doing this for so many years, and ways that we want to help you prevent pain in your crocheting because I mean, we should be able to crochet every day, all day,
mhm.
forever and ever. Amen. And that's
Amen.
it. Right.
Yes. I'll take
So,
that.
we are not medical professionals,
Mm-mm.
but we are here to help you get some important information. And the first ticker I'd like to show you is pain is actually information, right? So, what
So
kind of
much so.
information does I know. So, what kind of information does pain give us?
So, well, you always have this wonderful outline for our show, so I'm gonna kind of cheat and go off of this. But I mean, like, obviously, when we are in pain, that is your body telling you something is wrong somewhere. And a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, the people in my life, the men in my life especially, they're the kind of people like just rub some dirt on it and keep moving. Okay. Yeah. And
But, and in
I'm
some
not a rub a dirt
cases,
on it kind
it's
of girl.
well, in some cases, it's drag yourself up by your bootstraps, get
Mhm.
over it, move on because pain is temporary,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they always say no pain, no gain. It depends on how you're looking at that and what you're trying to gain. So, in a powerlifting kind of setting, sure, you're going to have some pain because you're working those muscles and it's going to hurt a little bit the next day because they're repairing themselves.
Right.
But when you're talking about something like crochet, pain is not gain.
No.
Pain is you have a problem. So you need to
Yes.
stop.
Yeah. Pain is your body's way of telling you that there's harm somewhere.
Mhm.
It could be temporary harm, but if you don't pay attention to that temporary harm, it could become chronic harm.
An
And that's what we're
injury.
here to, yeah. And that's what we're here to try to help prevent you from getting to that point. Because
Yeah.
again, you're going to explain later what happened to you this week. And, when you have to give up crochet, um, involuntarily, it's frightening,
I
especially
didn't
for
know
us
what to do with
in this
myself for like 4 days.
I know, right?
Like,
It's like,
how am I gonna survive this? What am I gonna do?
I can't watch TV without crocheting. I can't
No.
go to a kid's sporting event without crochet. I can't go anywhere without
Mm-mm.
crochet.
No.
Now, I go to the grocery store without crochet, but, I'm kind of occupied. But you get the drift, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So pain is information.
Mhm.
So what we need to do is pay attention to that pain and
Mhm.
what are some of the signs that we need to pay attention to when we crochet? What happens?
Well, I know, and like I said, you've got an awesome list here, so I'm gonna just go right off of this. But like,
You're
I
just
mean,
gonna
I've
copy off my
experienced
list.
all of them. Yes, I mean, cramps. One place
Oh
I
yeah.
get cramps the worst is right here,
Hmm.
and down in this part of my elbow. Um, it can be terrible, and you just got to stop, and you got to, because I know we want to keep going. I know we want to push through it. You're like,
Hmm.
but I can't stop going. I need to get line done, or I need to finish this row, or it's just a couple of rows, or it's just a section. But if you don't take care of that while it's cramping, you're going to end up with an actual injury where you're going to have to stop crocheting for several days while you repair.
Or you're gonna have to visit the doctor and get the
That
doctor
too.
to assess the injury and prescribe some course of action to fix it. So we wanna pay
Yeah.
attention to that. One of the things that I suffer from is stiffness, and it's not necessarily in my upper body, it's if I've been sitting for a long time in my
Mm,
chair, no matter
mhm.
how comfortable and how well set up my chair is, my lower body gets stiff, and I have to be careful when
Yeah.
I first get up to
Yeah.
make sure I'm moving. Because if I just lurch, we're done. Boom.
It's all
So,
going down and it ain't gonna be
wah,
pretty.
no. So we have to pay attention to that as
Mm,
well. Um, Crochet is a repetitive motion,
mhm,
and we know of sports that in particular, that have repetitive motion injuries. The
mhm,
most famous one, or the most common one that we can think of, is tennis elbow, from that
mhm.
constant swinging of the racket in the same motion, or a
Baseball
baseball player,
elbow.
or a
Mhm.
pitcher, or that
Yeah.
sort of thing. Any repetitive motion activity like crochet
Mhm.
requires you to pay attention. Pain can
Mhm.
creep up before you know it. Um, and pain that lasts beyond the crochet. So if you put the crochet down and take a break and it's still there the next day,
Mhm.
then something needs to be paid attention to. So,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
absolutely. Dawn says her hands cramp, she shakes them and rests them, so that's a really
Mm.
great thing to do.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we're going to talk about here in a
Mhm.
second. Now, this is something we never think about doing. I've referred to this over and over again about how my previous career was as a professional singer and a voice teacher.
Yeah.
Warm up is a non-negotiable.
Yep.
You have to warm up before you sing, or you can cause yourself injury, or you won't be at the level of proficiency that you want. There are a
Mhm.
whole host of reasons why you want to warm up. If you
Yep.
go out and run, you
Mhm.
have to warm up. If you go work out at the gym, you need to warm up. We think of them in those contexts.
Mhm.
But when we crochet, we really kind of need to warm up. These guys are our tools. And
Yeah.
if we don't warm them up, now I'm one of the worst offenders, Biz. I do not warm them up.
I typically don't much either.
I
I
know.
mean, I shouldn't say that. I kind of do now only because I do have repetitive motion injury, especially in my left arm, and I deal with aches and pains. So I have a tendency to go through a period of like a session of stretches just to get myself ready because I have been dealing with injuries and
Right.
pain.
Let's see. Yeah, you already talked about Don's comment. I was just checking to see if we had anything here to look at. Yeah, one of the things that happens to me is, I think because of the many years of playing the piano, I had to accompany voice lessons, and, just playing the piano every day
Mhm.
helped get my fingers. You don't think about the muscles
Limber.
of your fingers and the
Mhm.
muscles of your hands being in shape, but I played so much for all
Yeah,
those years that I think that's really kind of helped keep my hands in shape for crochet, because
yeah.
that's what I have more issue with my shoulders and neck, whereas
Okay.
you have a lot of issue with your
My
hands and
arms.
arms. So, yeah,
Mhm.
so we have a lot of stuff that we can talk about. Um, some of the warm up exercises that we've talked about, you've already talked about shaking out your hands to get rid of the cramps, but you can
Mhm.
shake them
Yeah.
out just to get the blood flowing in
Mhm.
your fingers.
Yeah.
Um, what are some of the things that you do when to warm up your hands and your wrists?
Well, there's a series of exercises that we're going to link in the chat here today.
Actually,
It's
I'm going to show that.
yeah, it's put on or not put on, but it was created by We Are Knitters. And if you go to this link, which the link will be in the description of the YouTube as well, If you go on there, it's actually a moving GIF. So I'm going to show you there's 7 exercises. And the first one is called pray time. And you just put your hands together like this and rotate your wrists
Mm.
like that. And it says to do it 10 times in each direction. So, just count out 10 circles. Then there's one called hocus pocus, and you just get your hands like this and stretch them out and then bring them in and stretch them out. And you do that a couple of times. There's the one ring, which you're gently pulling, very gently. You're not yanking your fingers off, gently, and then rotate them in a circle. And you do it to each one of your fingers. There is the branch tester, which pretend you are breaking a branch
Oh, yeah.
and go like that.
Right?
And what you're stretching this section right here. And each one of these, you'll feel where it's stretching. Then there's the one called the alligator. Now, I can't do this one because I have a hard time. I'm not dexterous enough. So what I do is I just get my hand and I just kind of gently push in that direction. What you're supposed to do is like reach around and like stretch it, but I can't do it. I'm not.
Oh, I see. Like
So I just
this?
push to get that. Yeah. So
Oh,
same
wow.
thing over
That's
here. And I
that's
just
quite
push
the
down.
stretch.
Yes, it all along in here.
Yep.
And then, of course, there's the one they call the electroshock, which you just hang your hands and shake them like that. But this is my favorite one, and this is what I lived on this week. It's called the Namaste. And it's basically praying hands, and you have your elbows up. But what I do is I add a little bit to this, and I tilt my hands forward, and you're going to feel a stretch along the back side of your arm,
Mhm.
and then towards your body, and you'll feel that one, especially in this area. And so all week long, and you can do simple stretches like so and things like this. Don't ever be aggressive with any of this stuff because you'll hurt yourself.
Right.
Nice gentle stretches, and then you can just shake it out, after each one of your stretches. But I of course like I have to pinpoint this particular muscle because this is the one. And so I usually give myself a little hand massage. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do. But these particular stretch exercises are really, really good to get that range of motion. And you're really targeting just this section of your arm. But you can do this, but you're going to also talk about
Mhm.
different kinds of stretches for shoulder, so I'll leave that. But like I said, my favorite one is this one, and I have arthritis as well, Donna. I'm not sure what kind it is, but it's in there and it hurts. So I deal a lot with like finger numbness
Mm.
and stuff like that. So you have to just what happened to me is last Saturday we were finally putting away our Christmas stuff, and I went to open up a tote, and I went like this and tried to snap it up, and something in here pinched so hard it made these fingers go numb, and
Ooh.
basically a stinger. And I then that night I crocheted, and so when I went to bed I spent 2 nights awake trying to find a place to put my arm because it hurt so bad. I mean, it just would like radiate aching pain all up through my. So I finally was like, I cannot continue to exacerbate this injury. Obviously, something more than what I thought happened. So I just iced it, rested it, stretched. I had to even wait a couple of days before I could really stretch it because there was this weird knot in the palm of my
Mm.
hand as well. Oh,
Mm.
it was bad. So yeah, when things like that happen, make yourself stop no matter how much you want to push. Even if you have a deadline you have to hit, you have to take care of
Yeah.
your team.
Yep. Yeah, deadlines are not that important. Your health is more important.
Absolutely.
And what we didn't talk about, and all of these things that you just used can be used as warm-up, they can be
Yes.
used as regular stretches, but the reason why it's important to warm up is it gets the blood flowing in that
Mhm.
part of your body. It increases your flexibility. So you were
Mhm.
talking about those circles and rolls and stretches,
Mm.
pulling this. You
Yeah,
That's not a natural motion with your arm,
not
but by
typically.
pulling it and gently, it
Yes.
increases that flexibility during repetitive motion. Um, and it just helps prevent as much pain and stiffness as you possibly can with those stretches and exercises before you start warming up, right?
Yeah, yeah, and even if you find, like, you're partway through something and you feel yourself getting I have a tendency to feel myself getting, like, crampy or whatever, just stop,
Yep.
take a minute, run through some of these exercises. We have to protect our hands because, like you said, they are the tools of our job.
Now I'm gonna keep going with the stretches, but I actually had a little section about things that adjustments that you can make to prevent pain from happening. But let's
Yeah.
go on with the stretches because we're on a roll here. So, do you have any other hand and wrist stretches that you really like?
Um, no, I mean, because 'cause they're all kind of the same after a while. These are really
Yeah.
good ones. I mean, I have a tendency to just because where I get my most of my tightness is in my forearm. And so I'm always looking for ways to stretch my arms so that I can feel those being stretched
Mhm.
out. So, like I said, the namaste one is probably my favorite because it kind of hits the inside and the outside of my forearm, as
Yeah,
well
we
as
don't think
stretching all my
about that.
fingers. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't think about that because we think, okay, crochet is hands, but it
Oh
really
gosh.
is it's the
It's your
entire
whole
upper
upper body.
it's the whole
It
shebang,
is.
babe. Um, all right, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about, shoulder and neck stretches, and these are super important because you tend to sit like we talked last week, you tend to sit, with your shoulders hunched forward, and that shortens the muscles in the front of your body,
Mhm.
and then when you try to do just simple things like lifting your arms or carrying a
Just doing
bag,
your hair.
that becomes yeah, just trying to do your hair. It
Mhm.
becomes difficult, right? So I'm gonna show you a couple of things, that I do in my own practice. So I get a lot of tightness here in my neck. So just be careful with all of the stretches because, again, you want to do them slowly. You want to do them until you feel the stretch, excuse me, and you don't want to yank. You always want to go
No.
slowly.
Mhm.
So the neck, you can do a neck roll, but make sure you go all different directions. So the first thing you can do is drop your chin to your chest. That
Mhm.
lengthens the back of your neck. Look up at the ceiling to give that range of motion. And
Mhm.
then try to touch your right ear to your right shoulder
Oh, I know that's only gonna go so
and
far.
let it gently pop back up. Don't force it up, let it gently pop back up. And then you're
Okay.
going to do it on the other side,
Oh, I can really feel that on my right.
right? Now, generally, you want to hold a stretch for about 10 seconds, which is an
Mhm.
eternity to get that muscle to let go, right?
And it
You
depends
can
on how
also
fast you count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got it. I'm
Yes.
done. But you can also take your fingertips and just
Mhm.
palpitate those big muscles
Mhm.
that sit right there, and that will also help them to loosen up a little bit. You can do head rolls, but I'm not a particular fan of that because I feel my head at a certain point, my neck at a certain point grab. So I'm not a
Yeah.
particular fan of the head roll.
Yeah.
I would rather
It's almost like my neck
target
pops.
side to side and down and up, right?
Yeah.
One of the other things that I've learned over the years is that if you create tension and let go of it, it
Mm.
actually relaxes the muscles. So here's a great
Okay.
one. So you take your shoulders and
Uh-huh.
you pull them all the way up to your earlobes. Just pull them up as far as you go and hold it. And it doesn't feel good, right? But it's
No.
hopefully it's not painful. But you leave
Mhm.
it there for a few seconds and then
Uh-huh.
you let it drop. And guess what? It
Oh, there's like
feels,
this rush.
yeah, right. It just lets those shoulder muscles
Sounds like an
relax.
oxygen rush.
Yeah, I love
And then
it.
we all pass out.
Now you were talking about one that this is one of my favorites. It's called a cross body shoulder stretch.
Mm,
Basically, you're just taking your arm and you're
mhm,
pulling it across your body, and right behind your elbow, you take it and you pull it just to the point of feeling that stretch. If you feel pain, you need to back off a little bit.
mhm,
But
yeah,
that stretches right through the back and through this
mhm.
part of your
And you can
arm
even
here.
twist your body a little bit to add
Yep,
to it,
and twist your body,
very
and
gently.
that opens up the side of your body, and you wanna make sure that you're even, so you do that on the other side. Please be
Never do one
even.
without the other.
Yeah, right? So we do that. That's a good one.
You don't wanna end up
Um,
lumpy.
no, you don't. Now, this is a good one to do
Mhm.
on the floor. It's called a good morning stretch.
Okay.
Um, but if you're lying in bed and your husband isn't going to kick you out because you just moved, you can lie flat on your back, put your arms over your head, and stretch your arms
Oh,
away from your legs,
yes.
right?
Love that one.
That one feels really good. Um, and I already did the neck relaxer. One thing that I found that I got from a massage therapist is that a lot of times when you feel a tight muscle somewhere,
Mhm,
you can actually press on that muscle
mhm,
to get it to release its tension. So
mhm,
again, this is where I hold a lot of my tension just in life.
mm,
And I can take my hands, besides palpitating that area, I can
mhm,
also just press and leave it there for the 10 seconds. And
mhm.
when I release, it kind of lets go of that tension. So
That
those are
breaks
just a
up
few that I use.
that breaks up the toxins that you're actually storing in your muscles. My
Oh
mom
my gosh.
used to work for a chiropractor years ago, and he had taught her this shiatsu, a couple of different shiatsu things. She was by no means a master at it, but she would, voluntarily hurt all of us at home. And so, but it's basically pressure points though that you find, and when you hold it there for a certain amount of time, you're not in
Mhm.
there digging or wiggling it around,
Yeah.
but when you would release it, it would actually help to break up those toxins, and you want to flush with water if you're going to do stuff like that. But
Mhm.
that last week we had actually shown a few different tools that you could use to help you. There was that neck massager with the heat. That was a shiatsu massager. So something like that too, if you have the funds to invest in something and you're really
Yeah.
having neck troubles, if just pushing on it, because like myself, I'm going to need to get like a massager because my neck is just rock hard.
I think that happens with life. That's where I hold all my tension. It's just
Yeah.
in my neck.
Yeah.
Um, and if I don't sleep right, man, there's
Oh my
hell to pay,
gosh.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
I sleep with a
So
neck
those
roll
are
because otherwise I end up with like aches in my neck.
yeah, and that again, I just want to reiterate one of the body alignment things that I think is most important when we crochet is
Mhm,
having your head over your shoulders.
mhm,
Um, there are two ways to bend. You can bend from the lower neck, and that pulls everything down into your lap.
mhm.
But instead, look down from the top of your spine where it
Gotcha.
connects to your skull
Yeah,
in the back, which is pretty high up,
it
and
is.
look down, and that keeps your head is heavier in the front that it's heavier wait, it's heavier here than it is here,
Depends on how big
which
of a head you
means
have.
which means sorry, jazz hands. Um,
Woo! We're Bob Fosse
um,
now.
I know, right? Um, it's meant to balance over your spine. So when you pull it forward, it's pulling all of those vertebrae at the top of your neck
Yes,
down. So yeah, just and be careful with all of these stretches. Please don't do
absolutely.
them to the point of pain.
Mm-mm,
Find the catch point, and you'll
mhm,
know when you got there. Find the catch point, stop there or move back until
mm,
that catch point's gone, and then
mhm,
just gently stretch and move slowly in and out of each one of these movements because yanking out of them can
mm,
cause a crick in your neck or a
mhm.
spasm in your hand or something. So you just want to be careful how you come in and out of them.
And like every other like aerobic class I've ever taken, if at any point anything hurts, stop.
Yep,
Don't push
absolutely.
it because it just makes injuries.
All right, now I'm going to back up a little bit because
Yes.
stretches that you can do to warm up, and there's stretches that you can do if you have pain. So they work for both.
Yeah.
Um, but there are other adjustments that you can make to prevent the pain, as well as hand, wrist, neck, and shoulder um,
Mhm.
stretches and exercises. One of them that I really, it's hard for me to do this one. I know a lot of people do. It's change the hook that you use. I know a
Mm.
lot of people have trouble using the skinny little Susan Bates, but this is my friend. This is the only one I can use because
I
my
don't even have
hand
what I
knows
use next to me.
how to use it. I can't use I actually cause myself stress, tension and stress when I use a bigger hook like this. This is
Really?
supposed to be yeah, it just my hand just can't do it.
Oh, I do have
So,
one. Uh-huh.
there you
That's what
go.
I use.
There you go.
That's where that went. I
But
just
if
found
your
a hook I
hook
lost.
but if you find you're gripping your hook too tightly,
Mhm.
then it's probably too small. Either loosen it up or find something with a slightly bigger handle and just
Mhm.
try them out and see.
These
Um,
are the Tulip brand, and I never knew that I needed them until somebody actually sent me some as a gift, and I have never gone back. They're
that's
amazing.
awesome. Man, when you find something that works, they better
I'm a
not
diehard.
discontinue it because if I lose it,
I know.
there there's a size H hook somewhere in my car. I swear to you. It's around the driver's seat, but
Oh my gosh,
it
that's
will be
funny.
there until the day I sell it. I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway,
no.
um, take regular breaks. Oh my gosh, this is for me. This is advice for me. I can sit in my chair for hours, just turn the TV on and go to town. But I would say, set an alarm on your watch,
Mhm.
have a clock beside you, or just remind yourself to get up however often you need to. Drink
Mhm.
a lot of water and have to go to the bathroom. That's
Yes,
what
it
Biz does.
it works. It
And
works. You'll
so
never sit still.
any that one's great. Um, Adjust the tension of your
Mm.
yarn that you're holding. So
Mm.
our left hand is kind of the unsung hero over here,
Mhm.
creating the tension of our yarn as we work. But it's
Mhm.
awfully easy to grip onto that sometimes. And
Mhm.
right, so just adjust if your tension is too tight, you're probably crocheting too tightly.
You know what? My grandma used to say that you could tell in her Afghan when she was having a bad day and when she was having a good day because her
Yeah.
tension would be crazy tight when she was really super tense, and it would be really, really loose when she was doing well. And I would look for that in my stuff. I've gotten to the point now over time where it doesn't matter what kind of mood I'm in, I'm kind of always in the same tension. But
Right.
I know that there are times when I'm excited about something or I'm fresh on the project and my tension is tighter than when I'm kind of at the end of working on something. I have noticed that when I okay, this isn't crochet, it's knitting, but it's still the same principle. When I make socks, the first one is always a different size from the second one because
Oh
by the
my
time I'm
gosh.
on my second sock, I'm like over this, second sock syndrome. And I'm used to the pattern at that point, so I'm comfortable,
Right.
so that means I loosen up, and I always have to block them because they're both different sizes.
I have heard that you do this with socks and you do this with sleeves that aren't made directly from the garment. Do a little bit of each at the same time.
Mhm.
So you're so you don't so your socks aren't teeny and large.
I would really, really like to learn how to do the magic loop as far as knitting is concerned,
Oh,
so you can
yeah.
do 2 socks at once. Never could get the hang of that, though.
Yeah, I don't knit anymore, so and socks were not my friend. I'm sorry. That yarn is just too small and those needles, oh, please. Okay, that's enough of that. All right. We talked last week a little bit about tools that to
Yeah,
support your body while you crochet, but I wanted to bring this back because
good.
along with our stretches and our loosening up and our warming up and all of that kind of stuff, If our body is still having trouble with pain and we've done all the things to adjust,
Mhm.
we probably need something that keeps us in the position that prevents that pain.
Yeah.
Just off the top of my head, we talked about, you just mentioned the heated neck roll,
Yeah.
um, right?
Yeah.
And, um, compression gloves. I've seen a lot of people using compression gloves, and
I mean,
elbow
I've got
splints,
the
a wrist
picture of that
splint.
heated thing if I've got the pictures from last week if you want me to put them
Oh,
up.
wait, there it is.
Oh,
Look
yeah,
at
there.
that. Oh
That
my goodness.
that's the boppy
There
one
we
that, like,
are.
goes on your lap, but this is the one that's heated for your neck.
Oh gosh, that's fancy.
Isn't it though?
Oh no. Then you had a do you have the table in this one?
I do. It's back here.
That's for that that wouldn't fit in my chair, but that's a great concept.
Isn't it
We
fabulous?
talked about having a pillow or something,
Mhm.
just any old pillow around the house that
Mhm.
gets your arms up off your lap, is a great tool to help support.
Yeah, because I mean, like, breastfeeding mamas, this is what they use to, hold baby in position and stuff like that, but it goes around the midsection of your body, so you could use it the same way. You don't have to spend tons and tons of money. You don't really have to spend any money at all. Like we said, you could use what you have in the house, but
Yeah,
just something to get your arms up more.
right. All right. That works. Now,
And
I
then
think that's a
these
that
were the,
oh, there you go.
yeah,
The braces.
braces that we were
Yep.
talking about.
Mhm.
Wrist braces. I actually need to get me some of those because I just need to add a little bit more support for this left arm.
Mhm. Now, I would find that a little cumbersome. I've never tried it, but I can tell by where it sits
Uh-huh.
that it
It's
would
gonna
be
take some
hard for me to
training.
hold. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would
Yep,
be
completely
an
agree.
adjustment.
I don't think I have
Oh,
control over removing this though.
well, I can do that. Thanks for sharing that. We're back.
Yay.
All right, that's basically the discussion, and we wanted to share a few links if you want to take a screenshot or
Mhm.
um, pause the video after we're over and write them down, or they will be in the description. But there were several resources that we used to get some of our information.
Mhm.
One of them, if you've not subscribed to Elise Rose Crochet on YouTube, you need to go drop what you're doing after we're done, not now.
Yeah, yeah.
After
Hang
we're
out, hang out,
done,
hang
stop right now. And subscribe to her channel because it is just amazing. But she has an episode about this very thing, what happens when there's pain and what to do about it. And it's a really just a packed episode. None of her
Awesome.
videos are very long, they're maybe
Mhm.
20 minutes at most, but you'll find that one a lot of fun. Um, I found this one by the Crochet Fox. It's just a blog post with some simple hand stretches in it that you can do. I don't know if there's anything different in it from what Biz was talking about,
Mhm.
but it's just another resource for you. And I found one of my favorite buddies, Shannon, over at the Loophole Fox, has done an entire blog post on how to avoid pain while crocheting. And it's
Mhm.
a really comprehensive blog post about the whole schmear. She's got some descriptive exercises that you can do and all the things. So I highly recommend that one. It's just a really
Mhm.
great resource like that. There are lots of different things. You don't even have to look at crochet, but you can just Google search for hand and wrist stretches or
Mhm.
what to do when you have pain or shoulder or
Mhm.
neck and all of that
Shoulder
stuff.
arm
And
stretches. Yeah.
yep. So I think Biz, you've already said this. Find what works for you.
Mhm.
Um, and it doesn't need to take an hour before you crochet
Mhm.
to get warmed up. It takes just a few minutes and it's
Mhm.
well worth the time that you spend.
Yeah. Yeah. Because And going back to what you had said earlier, that our hands are our tools. And if
Mhm.
you are a crocheter, if you are a crocheter for fun or you're a crocheter as a business, it doesn't make a difference. If you want to continue in your craft, you have to have your arms.
Yep, most assuredly. Yep, so we're here to help you prevent that
Hmm.
pain and deal with it when you do experience it. We all do at some point.
Hmm.
Um, but make sure that if it gets to a point of chronic, you need to go see a doctor
Yeah.
because it's no fun not to crochet, right?
No, it's not.
No,
It's
Biz knows
quite
that
boring.
firsthand. Get it? Firsthand.
Yes.
Woo!
That hand.
Don't
Yeah,
ding. There we go. All right,
that hand.
that's enough. All right, now I know that you are still fasting, I'm, assuming, since this
Yeah,
second
till
week.
tomorrow.
Um,
Just till tomorrow.
ah, and then you'll be back at watching, but do you watch anything right now?
Yeah, so, like, my husband doesn't wanna watch TV, so we don't watch TV at night. We've been playing board games and stuff like that. We have
Sweet.
revived, let's see, we played Life. We've played, Ticket to Ride. That was last
Oh, I
night,
love that
and
one. I love that
we've
one.
been on a Parcheesi, uh, snag for a few days, and I've been womping his butt in all of them. So, last night,
Yay!
he was just sitting there like this. He's like, "Of course." So
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh,
Carla, you
we
are
love
absolutely
board
welcome. She says,
games.
"Thanks for your tips and tools."
Oh, our pleasure. I mean, whatever we can do to help.
Yes.
Yeah, we absolutely love board games. That and putting together puzzles. We don't do it often enough because
Yeah.
we like to sit on our rear ends and watch TV because there's just so
Yeah.
much good stuff.
Yes.
But man, I know this weekend I just need a break, so I think there might be a board game. We have some great ones. My oldest son and well, both of my sons are a part of a group of friends that go away on what they call mancation every year, and they rent a
Okay.
cabin somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and there's a lot of middle of nowhere around here in Pennsylvania and whatever. Um, but they rent a cabin and they play board games and hike and bike all weekend long. It's just amazing. But
Wow.
one of the guys in the group is, I don't know if he's a computer programmer or he's some crazy tech guy, is always finding these new board games, just
Okay.
out of this world board games. And we've got stuff like, one of our favorites is Azul.
Okay, I've
It's
never heard
a
of that.
tile building game based on the tiles of Portugal. So in Portugal, a lot of the houses in especially in Lisbon are the faces of them are ceramic tiles, just these
Okay.
4 and 5 inch tiles.
Uh-huh.
And so Azul is a game where you fill up your grid with tiles, but it's kind of it's just a really strategic game. It's fun.
That sounds
We
fun.
also play Ticket to Ride. I love that game.
Yes.
Um, Sorry is one of our favorites because it's just a stupid game. I'm
Sorry.
sorry. It's just it's crazy. Um,
Vicious.
and
Parcheesi is
just
like,
a bunch
"Sorry."
of yeah, and it's just a bunch of other things. So I applaud you for playing some board games this week. I'm so jealous.
Well, he's decided that we're gonna continue at least Tuesdays and Thursdays because 'cause we're gonna
Ooh.
continue on a 5-2 intermittent fasting, where, 2 days out of the week, you do what's a really reduced calorie diet, and so
Mhm,
for the entire day of Tuesdays and Thursdays, I eat 500 calories. But we make sure that our breakfast and our dinner is very nutrient rich, so we like
mhm.
fish and, quinoa and stuff like that for supper, and we have an egg with a rich bread for breakfast, etc. But then you just starve the rest of the day. So it's beautiful. And so Tuesdays and Thursdays he wants to continue doing the no TV fast and stuff like that. And I'm all game for it. But I'll be honest, during the day when I'm working and stuff, when I have been able to crochet, I'm watching my people magazine Investigates on Prime. And it's basically documentary stories of murders that happen, cold cases, things like that. Really, really interesting. And some of them are horribly sad. I've found myself absolutely sobbing after some of them just because
Oh, no.
they're so heartbreaking and they tell the story so well. So, yeah, it's an interesting show. And there are times when I'm like, "Why am I watching this? What is my fascination with murder? Why am I watching this?"
Yeah, I basically am able to get away with network shows, and my husband every once in a while go, "Why do you watch that?"
Yeah.
It's like, that's the kind of stuff I love to read. I'm
Yes!
the
Like, there's
book
gotta be
my
something
daughter
wrong up here.
I whatever it is, I don't care. Um, my daughter hooked me up with I don't know the name of the author, but the first book in the series is Finley Donovan is Killing It.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. But you're on the edge of your seat the entire book
Oh,
going,
wow.
"Is she gonna get arrested? How did she" in the first book, she's an accidental contract killer.
Oh my gosh, how does one become an accidental contract killer?
Well, I don't wanna give the story away, but she actually her job is, she writes books about, murder, romance
Oh,
and murder.
wow.
So, she's using what's happening in her own life as the stories for her
That's
and
too funny.
they're bestsellers. I'm on the 2nd book in the series, and I can't put them down. Ah, so, anyway, I we're watching the same old, but that book, I thought
Yeah.
that, it's not true crime in the sense of true crime, but it's hilarious fictional crime. It's
Yeah.
great. I love it. It's funny.
Well,
It's
when it's worth a mention, it's worth a mention.
yeah. Finley Donovan is killing it.
Okay, I'm
It's
gonna have to
just
look that one up.
hilarious. Yeah. That's the first one. Anyway, that's what we're watching, that's what we're reading, that's what we're
Yeah.
playing, those are all the things, and then I guess next week, we're gonna be able to start talking about our secret project.
Yes,
Yay!
we
Oh my gosh,
can. And
I'm so
I'm gonna be
excited.
really ready because Sunday, we're having we always do Sunday supper with the kids. We didn't last week because we were fasting. This week, we're having pancakes, bacon, and eggs because I make some killer buttermilk pancakes. And my he's got this new Blackstone griddle for Christmas. And we've been cooking almost all of our meals on this Blackstone griddle. If you don't have one, it's an investment. He got it as a Christmas gift, or we probably still wouldn't have one. But it is amazing. It changes your food. It's like eating out. I don't feel the need to eat out anymore because the food tastes that good. So I am dying for my pancakes to be on that griddle.
Oh my gosh. Well, I can't wait to hear about them. So,
Yes.
you need to remember that next I would make a ticker banner
Mhm.
so we can
How are the
see it
pancakes?
on the screen.
But I'm gonna be well fueled next week, people. I'm not gonna be
Sweet.
starving.
Nice. Nice. All right, Biz, I think we've solved all the problems in crochet in the world and whatever. So it is time for us to say adios for this week. But we are so excited for the month of February to start. That is next
Adios.
week. And we'll see what happens with our podcast themes. We still have to figure it out. That's okay. You tune in
Yes.
and we'll have it figured out.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's coming.
So, Biz, I'm going to say goodbye to you and to everybody who was
Alrighty.
here to listen to us. And we will see
Thank you
you
for
in our
joining us
next
today.
episode of There's No Crying in Crochet. Bye, everybody.
Yes. Bye.